Look at me, I'm
Once Lamar Jackson finished the ridiculous obligation of telling everyone at the NFL Combine he is strictly a quarterback, he got a chance to prove why he is one of the top quarterback prospects in the 2018 NFL Draft. Jackson's Friday was all about his refusal to work out as a wide receiver and his desire to perform only the throwing drills as a quarterback. His Saturday was a showcase of his pro potential beyond his amazing athleticism. NFL Combine 2018 updates results from prospect workouts. Jackson proved he could take over games with his speed and quickness as a runner during his dazzling Heisman-winning career at Louisville, so there was no need for him to run the 40-yard dash, the jumps or the three-cone drill. That decision put all the focus and scrutiny on how he threw passes at Lucas Oil Stadium. When Jackson let the deep balls fly, he had some expected issues with accuracy. Once comfortable and settled, he was crisp in connecting with receivers on intermediate routes in the middle of the field. Jackson, measuring 6'1" 2/8" and weighing 216 pounds, was not surprising, and neither were the mixed results of his throwing drills. They make up only about half of the equation, however. While Jackson needs to develop the footwork and mechanics to consistently execute all the necessary throws in the NFL, everyone knows he has something no one else has in this QB class. The pre-combine comparisons to Michael Vick, including from Vick himself, are not based on convenience. Jackson is not the biggest QB but is one of the fastest. Vick had some of the same concerns about polish coming into the league, but the Falcons still took him No. 1 overall in 2001 because A, they didn't need to rush to make him the starter, and B, they were willing to commit to a complementary rushing attack. The NFL has changed a lot in the 17 years since. There's less patience in an era of quick turnarounds, as several rookie QBs have raised the bar for what teams should expect immediately from the first-round QBs. Make no mistake, even with his weaknesses, Jackson will go off the board among the top 32 picks in April. Mock Draft 2018 QBs fly off board in round 1 in a way. By choosing not to run the jump, Jackson added a little more to his mystique at the Combine, even though it would be disappointing to Jackson's agent, Jackson himself, to be slotted out of the top 10 picks. It would be better for his long-term prosperity not to be taken by one of those teams. Before the Kirk Cousins derby begins and ends just as quickly, the Browns, No. 1, No. 4, Broncos, number 5, and Jets, No. 6, are the three QB-neediest teams that have top 10 picks. All have considerable issues with a running game, offensive line and receiving core. When Jackson draws comparisons to the Texans' Deshaun Watson, they're based more on where he needs to land and less on the skill set he possesses. Watson ended up with a open-minded offensive staff under Bill O'Brien, with a seasoned go-to receiver in DeAndre Hopkins and an established, versatile feature back in Lamar Miller. With that profile, we're warmer on who should consider taking Jackson. Dolphins, No. 11. Like the Texans with O'Brien, the Dolphins have a spread-oriented coach in Adam Gase, who led them to the playoffs 2 years ago. They could either be patient with Jackson behind Ryan Tannehill or, at some point soon, see Jackson as the long-term answer and let him play running back Kenyon Drake and franchise-tagged wideout Jarvis Landry for now. Check the other boxes. Miami also represents the team closest to Jackson's hometown of Pompano Beach, Florida. Cardinals, No. 15, with new coach Steve Wilks, who operated a defense opposite Cam Newton in Carolina, offensive coordinator Mike McCoy, running back David Johnson and wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. Arizona checks all the boxes for Jackson. There's a fair chance the Cardinals will get a veteran stopgap to replace Carson Palmer for 2018, but for the first time in a while, they are in prime position to ace QB for the long term. Don't be surprised if they even make a mild trade up to get Jackson. Chargers, No. 17. Coach Anthony Lynn said a few days ago he thinks Philip Rivers can play into his 40s, a la Tom Brady. But given Rivers just turned 36, that's far in the future. In the present, the Chargers have established strong playoff momentum for 2018. Los Angeles led the league in passing last season, but it's a team that would be better off by upgrading its rushing attack and getting more out of Melvin Gordon to complement a potentially elite defense. Jackson's makeup aligns with that, and in the meantime, he can be groomed behind Rivers. Bills. Number 21. No. 22. The used catering to a mobile QB in Tyrod Taylor. Even with Taylor now in Cleveland as a 2017 playoff team, the Bills' recent offensive history should make them feel more comfortable than other teams with Jackson. Their offensive future is in the hands of Brian Daboll, who just worked with the super-athletic duo of Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama. The line and the running game are still there, and the additional draft pick gives Buffalo an opportunity to pair Jackson with a fellow rookie wideout. It also gives the Bills a chance to slide up if needed to take Jackson. Consider those 4 teams the ideal draft wheelhouse for Jackson. There's also a chance he falls into the purview of the Saints. Number 27. Steelers. No. 28. Jaguars. No. 29. And, yes, the Patriots. Number 31. With those 4 other teams, Jackson would need to wait a little for his turn, but all would set him up well based on coaching and supporting personnel. Jackson is smart and has terrific leadership qualities. He is best suited on a team with which much of that mindset is already established. That team also will need to practice a significant degree of patience with Jackson while pushing him as he practices his own. Like with every QB prospect, where Jackson ultimately goes depends on the organization believing it can maximize his strengths while diminishing his weaknesses. But Jackson's definitive statement at the Combine about the type of QB he is puts him in position to land in a more favorable position than any QB in his class.